They say if you see a Honda Goldwing on the highway, it's already halfway across the country. It doesn't leak, doesn't quit, and doesn't care how old it is. The Goldwing isn't just reliable, it's immortal. But how much of that's myth and how much is machine? Is the Goldwing really the most reliable motorcycle ever built, or have decades of dad jokes and iron butt rallies made it larger than life? Let's find out. To understand why the Goldwing became the poster child for reliability, you have to go back to 1975. Honda had already changed motorcycling once with the CB750. Now they wanted to build something bigger, a grand touring machine that could cross countries without breaking a sweat. Enter the GL1000, a flat 4-engine, shaft drive, liquid cooling. At a time when most bikes still leaked oil like emotional teenagers, Honda built something that didn't. It didn't rattle, it didn't vibrate, and it didn't complain. It just rolled down highways like a locomotive in polite Japanese silence. And then came the riders. Cross-country fanatics, retirees, long-haul dreamers, people who wanted a motorcycle that behaved like a car but better. By the early 80s, Honda had upgraded it to a 6-cylinder engine, the GL1100, then GL1200, and the legend only grew. There's an old story from the early Goldwing rallies. A guy rode from Florida to Alaska, stopped only for fuel, and when asked if the bike gave him trouble, he said, "Only when I stopped riding it." That's the Goldwing spirit. Keep it running, and it'll keep running. Now, before we get into just how bulletproof this thing really is, hit that subscribe button if you love motorcycles that refuse to die. We're just getting started, and trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why Goldwing owners call their bikes forever machines. There's a reason the Goldwing earned nicknames like the couch with wheels and the iron sofa. It's built like a Honda Civic that learned how to lean. Every nut, bolt, and bearing is over-engineered to survive apocalypse-level mileage. Some owners clock 6 digits on their odometers and start fresh again. Others just keep going. There's a 1975 GL1000 out there with over 1 million miles on it. The frame's been repainted, the seat replaced, but the engine still runs like a sewing machine. Honda even awarded that rider with a special certificate, probably because they couldn't believe anyone had sat that long. And here's the kicker, it's not just the old models. Modern Goldwings from the 2018 redesign onward are still delivering the same bulletproof reliability, just wrapped in luxury and tech. They've got DCT transmissions, ride modes, hill start assist, things that sound like spaceship controls, yet they still outlive the riders who bought them. Ask any mechanic, Goldwings don't break, they just age gracefully. They get squeaky speakers or lazy reverse gears. Meanwhile, everyone else's bikes are throwing error codes like Christmas lights. Now, let's talk about that heart, the Flat 6. The Goldwing's horizontally opposed 6-cylinder engine is a masterpiece in mechanical smoothness. It's basically half a Porsche engine with better manners. The beauty of that layout's balance. Every piston moves opposite another, canceling vibrations. That's why Goldwings feel like they're powered by electricity. Just smooth, quiet torque that never stops pulling. And because it's liquid-cooled and under-stressed, it doesn't burn oil, doesn't overheat, and doesn't care how far you ride. Then there's the shaft drive, the ultimate reliability flex. While chain riders are on the roadside with greasy hands, Goldwing owners are 2 states ahead listening to classic rock through their speakers. Oil changes, tires, brake pads. That's it. Some owners claim they've done 200,000 miles on the original clutch. When your bike's engine has more torque than a compact car, it's not bad company to keep. I once met a guy at a diner in Utah who said he changes his Goldwing's oil more often than he changes his phone. He wasn't bragging. He was genuinely worried the bike might start feeling neglected. That's the kind of devotion this machine inspires. Now, here's where things get interesting. The modern Goldwing, especially the post-2018 models, isn't just reliable, it's technologically intimidating. We're talking Apple CarPlay, adaptive cruise control, dual clutch transmission, Bluetooth, and enough sensors to confuse a Tesla. And yet, Honda somehow made it all work. The DCT system, once seen as fancy gadgetry, is now one of the most reliable transmissions in the industry. It shifts faster than a human, never misses a gear, never needs a clutch cable replaced because it doesn't have one. Sure, early adopters had a few hiccups, some jerky downshifts, some software updates, but Honda handled them with clinical precision, quiet recalls, quick fixes, and a level of customer service that makes German brands look allergic to accountability. There's a running joke in Goldwing circles. The bike doesn't break, you just need to reboot the rider. Because honestly, half the time, it's not the bike acting up, it's the owner forgetting how to pair their phone again. Now, no machine's perfect, not even Honda's golden child. If you look hard enough, you'll find a few hairline cracks in the legend. The early GL 1200s had a notorious flaw: weak stators. The alternator's internal wiring would fry mid-tour, leaving riders stranded in the middle of nowhere with a perfectly fine engine and a completely dead battery. Some owners fixed it permanently with the famous poor boy external alternator mode. A backyard solution so clever, Honda probably took notes. Move into the 90s and you'll hear whispers about sticky starters and worn-out relay switches. Still, compared to what most bikes call catastrophic, these were wild inconveniences. Fast forward to the 21st century, the DCT-equipped models introduced a new kind of problem: complexity. Neglect your maintenance or skip a software update and that silky smooth gearbox can suddenly throw a tantrum worth a small fortune. But here's the thing: most Goldwing problems aren't really problems. They're first-world inconveniences disguised as issues. Bluetooth drops out in Nebraska, GPS lag through Kansas, the bike itself still humming along like a loyal dog waiting for its next command. When something genuinely fails, Honda's support network is unmatched. You could be stranded in rural Wyoming, call a dealership, and odds are they'll have the part, the manual and the mechanic ready before your coffee cools. Try that with a Ducati. You'll still be on hold when the sun sets. It's telling when the biggest complaint on owner forums is my seat heater stopped working. That's not failure, that's luxury fatigue. Because for the Goldwing, problems are just reminders that even perfection occasionally wants attention. Let's talk money, because reliability isn't free, but it's close. Owning a Goldwing is like owning a dependable golden retriever. It eats a lot, but it never bites. Fuel economy averages around 35 to 42 miles per gallon, depending on how aggressively you twist that throttle and how many chrome flags you've bolted on. Oil changes are every 8,000 miles, valve checks every 24,000. Because it's a Honda, most of that maintenance is set and forget it. Parts are available everywhere, mechanics know the layout, and Honda service manuals are written like they expect normal humans to understand them. Sure, the initial cost can make your wallet cry. New Goldwings hover around $28,000 to $33,000. Resale value is phenomenal. A 10-year-old Goldwing with 60,000 miles still sells for 5 figures. There's a saying among Goldwing owners: you don't buy one, you invest in one, because it's the only bike that depreciates slower than your interest in selling it. Goldwing owners don't just ride, they document. Every trip becomes a timestamp, every oil change a milestone. Somewhere in the United States, there's a man who's logged over 1.7 million miles across multiple Goldwings. He's replaced tires, fluids, and one seat, but never an engine. That's not luck, that's engineering that refuses to quit. Another couple famously rode their Goldwing around the world, from humid jungles to mountain passes, through sandstorms in Morocco, and rain that would have drowned lesser bikes. The Goldwing just kept humming, mile after mile, as if it could tell the difference between a desert road and a city boulevard. And then there's the Iron Butt Rally, a 10,000-mile endurance challenge where sleep is optional and fatigue is guaranteed. Guess which bike dominates the lineup? The Goldwing. Because when your body is ready to surrender, it's comforting to know your motorcycle won't. One rider summed it up perfectly. That single line captures the soul of this machine. It's not just metal and gears, it's companionship forged in gasoline and time. If you've ever joined a Goldwing group ride, you'll notice something peculiar. No one carries toolkits. They carry coffee mugs. They don't talk about mechanical failures. They talk about sunsets, highways, and the meals between them. Because when your motorcycle's reputation outlasts most marriages, you stop worrying about wrenches and start worrying about what snack to pack next. It's not just reliability, that's faith made mechanical. So, is the Honda Goldwing reliable? Yes. Painfully, gloriously, unfairly yes. It's the kind of reliability that makes other manufacturers look nervous. The Goldwing doesn't just run, it endures. It shrugs off decades, distance, and neglect like they're minor inconveniences. You can park it for a winter, forget to charge the battery, come back in spring, and it'll still fire up as if to say, took you long enough. Because reliability, in the Goldwing's language, isn't just about flawless engines or tight tolerances. It's about trust. It's knowing that when you're 1,000 miles from home on a nameless road, in a rainstorm that could drown a car, this bike will not let you down. Goldwing proves that reliability isn't boring, it's liberating. Lets you focus on the journey, not the roadside repair. Lets you hear music instead of engine noise. It turns endurance into art. And while newer models have grown more complex, more buttons, more screens, more tech, Honda has never abandoned what made the Goldwing sacred, a heart that refuses to die. Goldwing doesn't just last, it outlasts. It outlasts owners, trends, fads, and even Honda's own design teams. It's not the loudest bike, not the flashiest, and definitely not the cheapest. But when the rest are rusting, fading, or being parted out, the Goldwing will still be out there, eating miles, carrying stories, and proving that true engineering doesn't age. In a disposable world, the Honda Goldwing is a relic of permanence, a machine built not just to move you, but to stay with you. So yes, the Honda Goldwing isn't just reliable, it's a monument to reliability. It's a motorcycle that refuses to die, refuses to quit, and quietly reminds you that sometimes perfection doesn't shout, it hums. If you've ever owned or ridden a Goldwing, drop your story in the comments. How far did yours take you? And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe because next week we're diving into another legend that refuses to fade, the bike that tried to out-Goldwing the Goldwing.